Good morning, y'all. Welcome back, Atmosphere Shifters. I hope y'all doing amazing on this beautiful Sunday. I am up early, y'all. I get up at the crack of dawn. I can't help it, okay? But I was sitting here and I was listening to some videos online and stuff like that. And I want to talk about connection and how important connection matters, right? So, I'm just walk y'all through some things, right? So right before I had lost my last apartment, right? I was getting the urge, and older videos I was talking about it. I was getting the urge to want to like talk to my mom, right? Like I was just like, yo, I want to, because I was no longer in that space that I was in when I actually started this YouTube channel. I was more so like my healing stuff and, ready to move forward and blah, 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 that type of stuff. But I didn't know how to open that door, and I wanted to make sure that I was protected when I opened that space back up with my mother. So I had said a prayer, and I was like, Lord, I really, want to open this communication line back up with my mother, because it literally had been 3 years since I had even spoke or seen my mother, right? Because we don't follow each other on social media. Like, we don't do none of that, right? And I prayed about it. I prayed and asked God. I was like, I really want this connection with my mother, basically, right? Because I've been walking this road by myself since 2018, right? Like, that's when I really started shutting down and I really started cutting people off. I didn't really cut my mom off until 2022, and it devastated me to do that. But I knew God told me, He told me it was only going to be for a season, right? But I had to do it, and it hurt because I didn't have her to call on, and I missed her face, and just certain shit that I just missed about having my mom in my life. But I knew I had to go through this season. So I said a prayer, and I was like, God, I really miss my mom. I really want the connection. Teach me how to love her unconditionally. Like, it was a lot that went into this prayer. So I had this dream, right? God sent me a dream, and in the dream, my mom, she fed me potatoes and mixed with pickles. It was weird. It was a weird concoction, right? And I was like, what the hell? Like, but in the dream, I was very, very grateful, right? So I immediately got up, and I'm like, I knew there was a significance to her feeding me potatoes and pickles. So basically, to sum it all up, is when somebody feeds you potatoes in a dream, that means they are giving you a form of abundance, right? And the pickle represents sour, like the connection's not good. So that was God telling me, like, healing with my mother is the door to my abundance. So he was basically saying, yes, you need to heal this connection with your mother, okay? So me and my mom, we started talking before I got evicted out the last place, and I immediately, like, she don't know it, but I was crying the whole conversation. I was just happy to hear her voice. It was just amazing, right? And I was like, oh, like, I felt like the healing immediately started. It immediately started, and I was like, wow, connection really does matter, right? So when we got evicted and I was staying in the hotels and stuff, and this is something like people be looking at me like, girl, but we were staying at the extended stay, and there was this old white man, right, that worked there, right? And one of the girls who worked there, she was like letting him sneak, because he was homeless, and she was letting him sneak into the rooms at night so he'd have a place to stay. Well, she got caught, right? And me and the girl at the front desk, me and her, we had became super cool. And she was like, I got caught sneaking such and such rooms, and I don't know, I really want to help him, da 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 da. And I don't know. And I was like, look, I said, he could stay with us. And I told my kids, and I thank God my kids got a heart like mine. Oh my God. But I didn't know this man from a can of paint. But it's cold out here. You know what I'm saying? It's cold out here. And although I was in a messed up situation myself, I could not stand to see another person be out in the cold. So I actually allowed that man to So, he slept on the floor, made a pallet, and I did have rules. Like, he was not allowed to be in the room while I was gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was rooms, and he had to be gone in the morning, and he could only come back at it. But he had somewhere warm and safe to sleep. And when I cooked for my children and I made sure he ate too. And it's just like that when I say connection matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, we like to go around in this world and feel like we don't need nobody, right? And sometimes it be the very thing that, people, places, and things that be coming in that that has your abundance attached to it, right? And that's one thing I've learned on this journey. Like, you see, like, I was, listening to some of these videos this morning, and some of the greats, you know what I'm saying, they got their moments, their big breaks by connection. You know what I'm saying? By somebody looking at them and being like, yo, I see something in you, or I want to help you, and da 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 da. So connection definitely freaking matters. And that's one thing that I've learned in this last cycle of how important connection is, right? Because I'm a natural loner. I will naturally isolate. I don't mean to. It's just something I've gotten accustomed to, right? So I will naturally isolate when I'm going through. I don't really, want to tell nobody, da 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 da. But in this last time, connection really matters, right? So I had called because I was in a transition period where I thought I was, where I thought I was going to be homeless, right? Because we had to get out the hotel. I was waiting to get paid. So I was like, okay, I just need a week, because it was like a week before my first check was about to come in. And I called so my oldest and my youngest, they have the same father, right? And then he has other children also. And I called their sister and I was like, hey, can you please get Nazir for a week? I was like, because I don't get paid till Friday, and I don't want, it's cold. I didn't want, because I was about to send Liv back with her daddy for a week, and like I had, and I was like, I'll just figure it out. And she was like, no, y'all can stay here. And it's just so beautiful, because I think back, there's a history, y'all. I think back, when I was a child and teenager, because I started dealing with their dad when I was 18 years old. I had Lydia at 19, and then when I was 35, we had another child who was Nazir. And I think back to when we were a child, and the young lady who we're at now, she her mother and I, we used to beef, y'all. Because we was young and we were childish, and we were in love with the same guy, and man, we used to go at it all the time. And she had a lot of sisters, so we will all just be out there fighting and arguing and just all type of crazy stuff, right? And fast forward to now, and Halloween, right? I went to my first ever Halloween party, and it was at the girl's sister's house, and I was a little, a little nervous about going over there, because the last time I seen these ladies, we was fighting over my baby daddy, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so there was like, tension back then, So I was a little nervous, and I'm just like, oh God. But I was like, Nancy, just go, you know what I'm saying? So we go, she ends up taking us over there. I had a fucking ball. They embraced me so hard. They was like, oh my God, you still look the same. You still rocking them braids, because I always rock braids. But they were so welcoming, and they were so inviting, and I actually had a great motherfucking time. And I chuckled to myself, because my kids' father, the kids by the other women, they love me. Maybe one, but she's still respectful, right? They absolutely love me. And that's a big deal to me. That's a super big deal to me, because the circumstances was set up to where they could probably like not like me, because I used to beef with their mom type shit, but they hearts is super amazing. And the fact that this woman that I used to fight, like, y'all, when I say me and her used to ball, like, we used to be in the streets, like crowds of females, like going at it, like bink bink bink, like over this guy. the fact that I am now sitting in her family with her mother, like everybody, I'm sitting with her people and we're having a good time and laughing and kicking. I was like, yo, connection matters and healing is so important. It is so freaking important. And it was just the love, how they treated me was amazing. They was like, here girl, you want to drink? Here girl, come on, let's dance. Like, and I was in awe. I was in awe because my last memory was like, y'all, we used to be out here fighting in crowds. Like, police was called, all type of stuff, y'all. It was bad. And the fact that they embraced me, and the fact that my baby daddy's kids that's not by me, the fact that they love and nurture on me is amazing. I have a great relationship with the one I'm here at. Me and her, we've always, like, she's such a sweetie. I treat her like I treat Lydia, right? Because her and Lydia is the same age, because that was one of our fights, because me and her mom was pregnant at the same time. So Lydia and his other daughter, they're the same age. So that was one of our fights. But she's such a sweetie, and it's just like, it made me change my perspective, because it's like, dang, I'm more loved than I realized. Like, these kids have every reason not to fuck with me. Every reason not to fuck with me, just because of history. But they see me for who I am, and it's mutual respect. Like, I literally treat her like she's my child. Like, she's the sweetest. And their dad had a soft spot for this one, and I see why he had a soft spot for her. She's just the sweetest, and I'm just grateful. Connection really does matter. It matters, you know what I'm saying? And healing definitely matters. It matters, and I'm just grateful that, like I tell y'all, that I'm in a situation to where I'm genuinely loved, right? I'm genuinely loved, because this girl could have been like, I'll take Nazir, you know what I'm saying? But she didn't do that. And me and her and I, we have a great relationship. It's insane. I think I'll do anything for her. I'll do anything for her. And I've been like that about her since I stepped down in this city. She's just a sweet girl. She's a super sweet girl, and it just blows me how his kids embrace me. They embrace me, they like me, they love me. And I was like, girl, and it's just like, Nancy, you are a good person. You're a good person. You're lovable. You know what I'm saying? You deserve love. You know what I'm saying? Just as much as you give it out. You feel me? And then when my mom, with having that dream and opening that door back, that created a healing in me, that created better opportunities in my life. You know what I'm saying? Connection matters. It truly matters. And that's why it's so important to heal and let go of things that no longer serve us, because those be the same things that be blocking what is truly for us. So connection matters. You know what I'm saying? And if you're ever, because, like, excuse me, you know, I don't care what I'm going through in life. If I see somebody who needs help, I always help. And that's something that people never understood about me. It's like, girl, you barely making it, you struggling, but I have enough to be of assistance in this manner. And I think a lot of that is what keeps me covered. You know what I'm saying? From God, is because no matter what I'm going through, I still try to find a way to help others. This YouTube, for instance, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to that guy. I really pray that it worked out for him, but I did my part when I was in his path, and I know he was grateful, and he had somewhere to sleep and food, and he wasn't like, because I think he was like, before she started letting him sleep in the rooms, he was sleeping at the benches at the hotels, and was, you know, just, and my heart, I can't know, because I've been in those situations. I was in that situation, and I always treat people how I would want to be treated if I was in that situation. So connection matters, right? If you're in a situation to where you can upgrade, if you can change somebody, if you can help somebody, do that. And if you're in a situation to where you feel like you don't have nobody, how about opening yourself up to people? Because that could be the opening or the key to your abundance, to getting you to that next step. You know, I stopped watching tarot, y'all. So that's why I haven't been doing tarot cards, because it's like you can really get sucked into that world, right? And you can forget to heal. And tarot sometimes can keep you in your pain and suffering, right? It can still, you know, because it's, when you flip in the cards, it's constantly talking about, you know, black magic, which all that's real, right? Witches, warlocks, all that's a real thing. But you know, if you're constantly hearing about it, or if you're constantly engaging, you know what I'm saying, that's the energy that's flowing to you, right? So I just let go of that tarot community because it was just like, it was keeping me stuck. It was keeping me stuck and keeping me like bitter, and you know, waiting on people that was never gonna show up, waiting on these lovers, and just all type of shit that did not serve my spirit. So I had to let go of that. So I don't listen to that crap. That's why I haven't been reading cards anymore, because although I was using it as a tool to help y'all, I didn't want y'all to live and breathe what I said through those cards. I want y'all to form a connection with God for yourself, because connection matters, right? Connection definitely matters. Like, no matter what I get on here and say, you know what I'm saying, all I can do is tell y'all my story and how I got out of it. But it's up to you to connect with the source yourself, to create that connection, so that it will cover you throughout your walk in life, right? And in the tarot community, you tend to lean and, you know, on somebody else's understanding instead of connecting with the source itself. So that's why I stopped doing the cards. It's not that I don't believe in the cards, it's more so I feel like the tarot community, it can really become a hindrance, and it can keep you stuck in unnecessary cycles, okay? But that is the message, y'all. Connection matters. Connection truly matters. It's just amazing. It's amazing. Connection matters, and I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful. And this time around, it just shows me how lovable and respected I am, because like with my baby daddy's kids and how they embrace me, and this one, she goes above and beyond for me. She's such a sweetie. And you know, with my mom and we're in such a good space. You know what I'm saying? It's just, connection matters. It really matters. And heal, if you were called, because I was called to take a break. Like, I had to heal some things. My 16-year-old, because if y'all don't know, I was molested at the age of 16, and she was like, Mom, when did you lose your V card? And I was like, well, technically it wasn't my choice, I was sexually molested. And she was like, well, what'd your mom say? Oh, or I forgot what she said. It was like, did your mom believe you? And I was like, you know, I don't think it's the fact that she didn't believe me. I think she felt more guilt, the fact that she couldn't protect me. So she didn't want to accept that it happened to me, because as a parent, you never want to hear that, because it may make you feel like you failed. And just the fact that I was explaining it to my daughter in that manner let me know, wow, I have really healed. I have really healed, because what parent in their right mind really wants their child to be sexually molested? And how I chose to see it, it's like, because if, you know, Lord forbid, you know, thank you God for protecting my children, but if that happened to my child, you know, I would feel like a failure, because I go above and beyond to make sure that doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So if it happened, you know, it wouldn't be the fact that I wouldn't believe my child. I would be feeling more so like disappointed and hurt and embarrassed. Like, so it's the fact of how I chose to see that situation with my mom. And I just sat there after I got off the phone with my daughter, and I was like, wow, I really have healed. I really have healed. I chose to see it from my mother's perspective. Connection matters. It matters. It really matters. And y'all, we gotta get out of that phase of social media. Just, it's so crazy out here, y'all. We gotta get out of that phase like I can do it by myself, because sometimes God will send you people who is holding the key to your abundance, whether that's financially, emotionally, spiritually. You know what I'm saying? We have to we have to transition out of that. I don't need a man. I don't need a woman. I don't need a friend. I don't need this. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And it's those very people, places, and things that we're shoving away, that we're trying to overlook, that could be the key to our abundance. So love freely, heal openly. You know what I'm saying? Do all that. Enjoy this human experience. Understand it's just that. It's a human experience. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to go through. But don't shut out people who were sent to help. And understand that you are lovable. And don't question if people come into your life trying to love you. You know what I'm saying? Don't question, because I did that a lot. Like, is this genuine? Because of what I had been through. But then I had to, when I started to self-love and I started to realize what I actually brought to the table and what I actually brought to my friend circle, I was like, I am lovable. Yeah, why wouldn't they respect me? Why wouldn't they love me? Why wouldn't they see the greatness in me? And it allowed me to open up and connect with people that I desperately needed. Okay, so connection matters. All right, connection definitely matters. So if y'all like this vibe and y'all like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, y'all, love and light.